Hi guys, I am Sharon Tillman coming to you. Just wanting to talk to you guys a little bit tonight. I have my poll question here tonight. And God was dealing with me about the subject just a little bit. And I was like, I think it's more than just a post. So I wanted to do a video about it. I was going to go live, but I was like, no, I kind of just want to talk. And then for anyone who have questions or, it's kind of something that's going to make you think. So instead of doing a live where I could kind of just let people come in and sit in, I was like, let me just do a video. I want to kind of just put it out there, and then I want to go back and go live about it, and just get some feedback. I want to be able to get some feedback from a few of you who were able to watch the video and just give me your take on it. So my poll question for tonight is the difference between being effective and being efficient. And I know a lot of you are kind of pondering, because when you think about it, sometimes you think, well, they kind of mean, similar to the same, but they're very different. I have a few definitions here. I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of factual information first. So I have the definitions here, excuse me. So to be efficient is performing or functioning in the best possible manner with the least waste of time or effort. And to be effective is successfully or being successful in producing a desired or intended result. So I wanted to stop and I wanted to be able to ask you guys today, are you being effective or are you being efficient? That's my poll question for tonight. So, of course, anytime I come with a poll question or anything like that, I'm always willing to be transparent about me, and kind of tell you a little bit about my particular experience with it. So, in this sense, for me, I can remember in a job situation. And a lot of times we pursue jobs because we're good at them. We like to work, we like to do the job. If it's something that we like to do, then that's a bonus. If it pays well, that's an extra bonus, right? So, with me in particular, I can remember working for a company, and this company would kind of send me, it'll kind of let me float little bit from place to place and go and help different companies out whenever they needed the help. And I can remember when I went into this particular field, I was brand new to it. I had never done it before, but it was like I was like, you know what? I'm a people person. I love to talk, and so I felt like that I could do it, and I was right. I was very, very effective and efficient both in this particular field, and I can remember doing it. And I can remember just going to this particular company, and they was like, oh my God, you've been doing this for how long? And I'm like, believe it or not, I have not been doing this long. I kind of just started. And they were like, you were meant to do this. Now you have to be careful when people are speaking things to you that is contradicting to the purpose for your life. Be careful, follow me. So I can remember them saying, oh my God, you were meant to do this. Like, you're so good at this. I can't believe that you just started it, or whatever. And so I can remember being like, okay. And I can remember going back to the company, and they were like, they were so impressed that they gave me a raise. And I was like, okay, I can take that. So I remember just getting the raise, and I was like, oh wow, okay, so maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, it's not what I wanted to do necessarily, but a lot of times that's what efficient is. It's doing things that we're good at, doing things that kind of just fall into play, kind of things that we don't even have to work hard for. You don't have to really work hard to be efficient. You know why? Because it kind of comes natural to you. It's almost like, being comfortable in a situation. I'm comfortable here. It kind of comes natural. I don't have to work hard. So therefore, as long as I can keep growing, I'm going to keep pursuing it. So that's kind of how it is to be efficient. So I can remember when I got that raise, I was like, okay, maybe this is what I'm gonna do. I can see myself doing this. And so I remember going to a different place, and I kind of just did that for a while. I kind of just went from one place to another place, and I would help them out, kind of get their numbers up, kind of get them where they needed to be, and then I would leave. It was kind of like, just stick me in there. You're going to help them get where they need to be, on to the next assignment. And so that's kind of what happened. I would just move on to the next assignment. And there was one particular assignment that changed my entire life in this field. So I can remember going to this one particular place, and I got another raise by the time I got there. So literally in my mind, by the time I got not one raise, but two raises, oh, this is a keeper for me. This is definitely what I'm getting ready to do. Because at that point, it was not just beneficial to the fact that, it worked for me. It was beneficial to the fact that it's definitely, paying me a good dollar. So I was like, I'm going to do this. I can do this. So I can remember saying that in my head. I can remember saying that to myself. So I can remember going to this one particular place, and I absolutely loved it there. I got there, and the manager, she was great. Oh my God. She was smart. She was intelligent. She was, I admired this lady. I really, really did. I admired her, and, a lot of the things that, she would say to me and that she would do. And she came to me and she was like, Sharon, I need somebody like you on my team. Like, I feel that with everything that I have to offer, and then with everything that you bring, we can turn this company another different direction. And in my mind, I'm all about not just the growth of the company, but the growth of my career. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. I can so see it. And I can remember we would sit down in her office and we would kind of brainstorm things, and we would kind of go over things, and she'll be like, yes, like, this is why I need you on this team. And one day she offered me the job. I never forget it. She came to me and she was like, I've got to have you on this team. What is it going to take? And so we sat down at her desk, and we talked money, and I hit her with a number that I was comfortable with. It was a number that I'm used to making. Listen, I'm grateful that I've always made pretty good money. So I hit her with a number that I was comfortable with. And when I slid that paper over there to her, she was like, what? I was thinking. And when she slid that paper back to me and it was more than what I asked for, I was like, come on, God, you're working. Come on, you're working. So in my mind, this was getting ready to be it. Not only was this job going to pay me great money, it was so great too in the scheduling department. I have 3 children. At that time, I just had 2, but I have 3 children. And I can remember the hours being like 8 to 5. It was Monday through Friday. The traffic, the commute wasn't horrible, so I could still be home by dark. I could still take my kids to school every single morning prior to going to work, and still be there on time to do what I needed to do. Like in my mind, and so many times so many times when we're looking at situations and everything is just falling into play, we automatically assume that it's God and that this is working. God, you're working this thing out in our favor. This is all you. I can see you moving. I can see you working, and I am grateful. And that's a lot of times what we do. We automatically assume that it's God. So I can remember being at this place, and because we had already talked about it, I was at this particular place for months. And every now and again, she'll come to me and we'll talk about my pursuing there, or, my going forth there. And everything was still a go. Nothing was really changing. And I was like, God, this is perfect. I can remember telling my husband, I was like, this is the perfect job. Like, I get along with everybody at the job, like everything is good with the manager. There's so much growth here that I don't even know what to say, because they had other they had other companies or other branches, should I say, to where if I felt like I couldn't move forward there, I could always go to another one within that same company, and I may be able to move forward there or get a higher position or whatever the case may be. So I can remember just being excited about it and being like, this is it. Like I'm making this my career, you know? And I know that so many times, like I said, when things are falling into place, because believe it or not, we love to do things that are comfortable for us. We love to work in environments that are comfortable, environments where we feel free, where there's none of that other stuff that we just don't want to deal with. We get along with the higher authority, which is always important. So in my mind, this was my job. This was like my dream job. And I'm like, I'm pursuing this. I'm doing this. No more late hours for you, Sharon. This is what you're going to do. So I can remember just going and going and going, and then we got the news that one of the companies within this company was going to be closing down. And when I thought about it at first, I was like, okay, that kind of knocks one of the options out of the ballpark, if I ever needed to go there, to kind of pursue further. But I was like, you know what? This particular location still makes the bulk of the money. And I know that I can just kind of keep growing from here. I can kind of just, keep moving forward from here. And in my mind, I was like, okay, and I was so close with the boss. And we have to be careful of that too. I just want to point that out while I'm there. Sometimes we can be so good at our job, and we're being so effective for the higher authority because we're making them so much money. But we always have to keep in mind, we can't go over the manager. We can't go over the supervisor or the owner of the company. So guess what? You're effective for them, but are you being effective for yourself if you get to a place and you can't go forward? You can't go any higher. So just keep that in mind, and I'll come back to that. But I can remember after, the particular company was closing, and we kind of talked about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put some things in place for, this company closing. I'm going to put some things in place for this particular location where I'm at, just to make sure that, we keep making money. We keep moving forward. We keep doing it. And I can remember when I did that, and I didn't even tell her about it at first. I kind of just did it, and I was like, I'm going to tell her about it, at a later time. And I can remember coming to work one Wednesday morning. No, I'm sorry, Thursday. I'll never forget. It was one Thursday morning. I can remember coming to work. And I can remember getting to work, and, I was just walking in, good morning. And I can remember her saying, good morning. And her good morning wasn't like it was normally. And I was like, you okay this morning? And I can remember her saying, I need to speak with you in the office. And I was like, okay. And nobody likes to get called in the office. It's almost like going in the principal's office at school, or if your parents say, come here, I need to talk to you, then they mean business. This is not a, oh, come here, I want to reward you with something. This is a, hey, we mean business. So I can remember her saying, I need to speak with you in the office. And I went in the office, and I was like, well, let me grab my notepad so I can show her what I've been working on. So whatever it is, we're about to deal with it, And I can remember her saying, you do such good work here. And nobody never wants to start off with that. But I remember her saying, you do such good work here, and such a benefit, such an asset to this particular company. And I was like, well, thank you. And I was like, is everything okay? And I can remember her saying, well, this company has closed. It was official closed at that time. I think within that week was the official closing of that company. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and by the way, since we're on that, let me show you the things that I've already implemented in place for this particular company. so that we don't have to worry about that. And I can remember her just dropping her head. And I'm like, what is going on? And then she broke the news to me. And she said, well, some of those employees from there, they need to come here. And because they're already within the company, we're gonna have to let you go. I'm not gonna be able to give you that job. But you've done so much here and I appreciate you. And then she went on to say, I know you're going to do great. You're awesome. You're going to do great somewhere else. And, I'll definitely give you a reference and this. And I think at first when she said it, it kind of went in one ear and out of the other because I was like, I know I didn't just hear what I said. I just heard. But I did. And I was like, oh my goodness. And she was like, do you have anything that you want to say? And I said, I don't. I don't have anything that I need to say at this particular time. So it was for me to finish out that particular week. And then, the other employees would be coming over. And I can remember feeling so let down, and I can remember going to God and I'm like, God, this was my job. What happened? And sometimes we're quick to blame God. And I know that I'm speaking to someone out here. Sometimes when things don't work out, we are so quick to say, God, what happened? I prayed about it. I believed you for it. God, I know that this was right. It fit well. Like, God, it worked in my favor. Like, what happened? And a lot of times when we go to God and pray, we pray to God. But if God is saying, don't go down this road, sometimes we don't hear that because we may get up too fast. Or sometimes when God is saying, there's so much more for you than what you're wanting, I would rather give you more than for you to settle. Sometimes we don't hear that either because all we can hear or all we can see is the benefits of the particular situation that we can see right